Hello, in this series we'll be creating a simple 2D Bezier curve editor. As use case examples, we'll also look at moving an object along the curve, as well as extruding a flat mesh from the curve. Now, before diving into the editor scripting, I just want to go over a few basic concepts. If we have 2 points, A and B, we can write a simple function to help us move in a straight line between them. This function returns the position of point A plus the displacement of A to B multiplied by t. So with a t value of 0, we'll be at point A, and as t increases to 1, we move directly to point B. This is known as linear interpolation, or lerp for short. Now, if we want to move between 2 points in a curve, we'll need to add a third point to control what that curve looks like. So I'll create a new function, and here we'll use our old lerp function to calculate a point between A and B, as well as between B and C. To visualize this, I'll increase t so that we can see the points P0 and P1 that we're calculating. To create our curve, we'll now simply return the linear interpolation between P0 and P1. The result of this is this blue point moving in a straight line from P0 to P1, and if we trace a line out behind it, we can see the curve that we've created. With 3 points, this is called a quadratic Bezier curve, because if we actually write the calculation out in full, rather than making all these calls to the lerp function, we get the following quadratic polynomial. Now, with just a single control point, our influence over the curve is a little bit limited, so let's add a 4th point and create a new function for computing this curve. We'll use our old quadratic curve function to calculate P0, the point on the curve between points A, B, and C, and P1, the point on the curve between points B, C, and D. So if we visualize this quickly, the 2 blue points are P0 and P1, each tracing out their own quadratic curve. We now return the linear interpolation between P0 and P1, which is visualized with this green point. We can watch how it moves in a straight line from the end of the first curve to the end of the second curve as time increases. If we trace a line out behind the green point, we can now visualize nicely the cubic curve that it's creating. If we write the calculation for this 4-point curve out in full, we get the following cubic polynomial. So with these 4 points, we have a lot of control over our curve, but if we want to extend this, we're going to need to stitch a whole bunch of these segments together. For example, here's a path made from 2 separate curves. Notice that the first point in the second curve is the same as the last point in the first curve. In this series, I'll be calling the points which the line passes through the anchor points, while these other points which help shape the curve will be called control points. So around each anchor point, we have 2 control points, except of course for the first and last points in the path, which only have 1 control point. Now, if I move this 1 control point, you can see that there's no longer a smooth join between the 2 curves. To fix this, we can lock the 2 corresponding control points together so that they always form a straight line with the anchor point between them. For best results, one of course wants to set the control points by hand, but in this series we'll also be experimenting with an approach for setting them automatically, which is useful just as a convenience, but also in applications such as procedural generation, where there's obviously no human to manually define them. Alright, that is it for this introduction video. Until next episode, cheers.